Thanks for joining us on TVC News at this hour. We begin in Gombe, where the newly constituted board of the Northeast Development Commission has held a series of meetings with community leaders in Gombe State. Members of the board also inspected ongoing projects of the commission in the state. Larry Adeyemi has the details.
On the 9th of August 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed a new board for the Northeast Development Commission. The new board and management are tasked with the responsibility of continuing the reconstruction of the insurgency-ravaged Northeast region. The intervention agency is in Gombe to interact with community leaders and opinion molders to assess its impact and receive recommendations.
For us to see to what has been done and again to decide and see what, in collaboration with you, what next we shall embark upon.
The purpose for which the NEDC was set has been actualized because you've been able to intervene on so many occasions, along so many lines, be it on the food that we give to people as palliative, or the infrastructural development, or the skills and acquisition through our youth, and so many more. But still, there is need for us to do more.
The board also inspected ongoing projects being executed by the Commission in Gombe State. The new trauma center at the Federal Teaching Hospital and the low-cost housing estate are two standout projects.
This beautiful and big edifice that you are seeing is actually part of the gesture of the Northeast Development Commission.
This accounts for why we are going again to see what is on the ground so far, what we have started, especially this particular project, to see to its completion within time.
As the Nigerian military gradually subdues the insurgency in the Northeast region, the federal government, through the NEDC, is working actively to rehabilitate the traumatized and rebuild the region. Landry Adeyemi, TVC News, Gombe.
Women's rights activists and members of the Nigerian private sector have opened conversations on driving impactful engagement that will allow the reintroduction and passage of the 5 gender bills at the National Assembly. Kemi Fola Adeyemo has the details.
The agenda of this private sector engagements by the civil society groups is to enhance social transformation and gender inclusivity. The ultimate drive is for the passage of the 5 gender bills, which were declined by the 9th Assembly. And now with the 10th Assembly already up and running, the activists believe starting early in engaging not just the lawmakers ahead, but critical groups will enhance support for the project. They say the passage of the bills will ensure foreign spouses of all Nigerians enjoy equal treatment and citizenship rights under the law, that women can claim their husband's states of origin after at least 5 years of marriage, occupy at least 35% of political party administration and appointive positions, as well as for additional seats in the legislature.
Realize that in most countries where we have seen increase in women participation, for example, is through the Constitution, and where we have seen other things that had to do with identity and dignity of women, the Constitution had played a role. So this meeting today is to talk to women in business, women in private sector, about being part of this process. The last time, quite a number of people felt that we didn't reach out enough.
When you have a population, just like saying you have 2 children, you are giving enormous power to one and you are telling the other person you are irrelevant. So, but if you give everybody power, you sit back and enjoy your old age. So I think that's what we are looking at, everybody to develop, to make sure that Nigeria is taken to the next level.
The women in management, business and public service, as well as the women in successful careers, also call for widespread advocacy, collaboration and funding to create a winning strategy.
We are going to galvanize more support amongst all different types of women, whether it's grassroots women, private sector women, public sector women, as you have seen from the discussion today, to ensure that women come together as one coalition with one voice to just ensure that everything that is rightfully fair is attributed to women through the passage of the gender bills.
These stakeholders believe with an intentional and unrelenting approach, inclusivity and diversity will be enshrined in the polity. Kemi Folademo, TVC News, Lagos.
The federal government says it is committed to addressing humanitarian challenges facing internally displaced persons in Benue State. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Ahmed, stated this during the flag-off of distribution of food and non-food relief materials at Ichwa, IDP's camp in Makodi. Mayowa Okwato has the details.
2,403 households and a total population of 14,229 people are living under these sorry conditions. The torrid circumstances have attracted the attention of authorities. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is inspecting the Ichua IDP camp in Makodi to see what can be done. The primary aim is to ensure that peace and security is restored in Benue. This is why the Commission is working to strengthen joint efforts in the state government to address the humanitarian challenges and provide durable solutions.
The effort of cushioning the living condition of IDPs in the camp is ongoing. Humanitarian aids alone cannot address the underlying problems. The President, under the Renewed Hope Agenda, is working tirelessly to tackle the challenges of insecurity in the state and facilitate your return to your ancestral homes.
As a result of incessant farmers-herders conflict, Benue has 21 IDP camps populated by over 2 million people.
Imagine that for 6 years, that these people have been taken away from their homes into this place. Their children are out of school. What is going to happen to them in the next generation?
Nearly 2 million Benue persons taking refugees in 21 IDPs camps scattered all over Benue State.
Traditional leaders and beneficiaries are grateful for items received from donors, but desire, most of all, is to return to their ancestral homes.
Happy to get what the federal government has given us here. But this is not what we need. Our major problem is to go back from our various places. If the government would produce security for us to get back.
For how many 6 years now we have not seen our ancestral home. We pray that the federal government and the governor of Benue State to help us so that we'll go back to our ancestral home and have peace to work in our farmland so that we'll eat the fruit of our labor.
Items distributed included sewing machines, mattresses, foodstuffs, and other household items. Mayowa Okwato, TVC News, Makodi.
Nigeria's Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, says our only birthday wish is to see 50% of vulnerable Nigerians out of multi-dimensional poverty by next year. The minister expressed optimism that the target was achievable given the aggressive drive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration towards the reduction of humanitarian crisis and alleviation of poverty in the country. The minister spoke Friday when the management and staff of the ministry gave her a surprise birthday gift at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja.
I want to thank God Almighty for the gift of life and for the gift of all of you. When I count my blessings, I count all of you twice. My birthday gift came early yesterday when the court declared my president. I have just one birthday wish, that by this time next year, at least 50% of the people who are poor in this nation will be out of poverty.
The national chairman of All Progressives Grand Alliance, Sylvester Eze Okenwa, has hailed the victory of President Bola Tinubu at the Supreme Court. Mr. Eze Okenwa said the Supreme Court's verdict on the petitions filed against Tinubu by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party Atiku Abubakar and his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi, showed that President Tinubu won the February 25, 2023 presidential elections. He stated this at the APGA National Secretariat in Awka during a media chat with some members of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in the state. In the same manner, elder statesman Abimbola Boderian has congratulated President Bola Tinubu on his victory at the Supreme Court. He also congratulates the opposition parties for choosing the right path by going to the court, saying it is victory for democracy. He calls on Nigerians to join hands together for the success of this administration, praying that Nigeria will move forward. Now, some Christian clerics have advised Nigerians to pray for the leadership of the country for wisdom to take the country to the next level of growth and development. Speaking at the consecration service of some bishops and apostles, they expressed their expectations for Nigeria, as they also called for collective efforts in promoting unity and peace among the citizenry.
God has been keeping us and will continue to keep us. And my suggestion is that Nigeria will go great, big, become great. The next 5-10 years, I see us coming together. It's just that as a church, we are advised to pray.
Our leaders should commit class suicide. They should stop catering for the top 5% and come down and cater for the middle class. There is a lot of selfishness at the top. If our leaders can come out and look inwards and see some of the things we can export, I think the country will be better.
Nigerian leaders, to go back to the drawing board. There is no wisdom that can ever work without God. Except the Lord builds a city, the builders will labor in vain.
If the government of the day will put measures in place to enthrone integrity and sincerity, this nation will move forward.
An association of Kogi professional women has called on all women in Kogi State to come out en masse to vote. They made the appeal at a press briefing in Abuja, citing violence as one of the reasons for low turnout during elections. Abida Lawal has the details.
Women's representation in Nigerian politics has been on a downward slide since 2011, and the 2023 elections in Africa's largest economy confirmed the expectations of poor outcomes for women. The number of women in Nigeria's National Assembly has fallen by 19% compared to last assembly, with women now occupying 3% of seats in the Senate and 4% in the House of Representatives. The Kogi Professional Women Association is rooting for the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Usman Odudu. It stated the inclusion of women in governance in the state as one of its reasons for supporting him.
First of its kind in the history of the state, all local government chairmen have deputy chairmen that were women. It was a law, it was a rule, and not only women, women from the grassroots. It's a different thing to import we, like professionals like us, to say, come home and come and take this space. No, he improved that by picking women in the grassroots. So that is something that we appreciate. And not only that, even within his cabinet, he helped women. He put women in position.
In Nigeria, women suffer high attrition rates throughout the electoral circle and face significant and distinct challenges in each phase, most especially violence during election, where women are mostly the victims.
Because our elections in Nigeria has always been marred by violence, therefore discouraging a lot of us, especially with the weaker sex, from coming out to vote. We are appealing, Kogi professional women, we are appealing to all candidates across board. Please talk to your supporters. We don't want violence. Stop allowing our children to get involved in violence.
Since 2019, Nigeria's political space has seen some recent overhauls. The 2023 election has proven that the use of bimodal voter accreditation system has come to stay. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.